Hundreds of pharmacies across the state shut their doors today in a statewide walkout. They say it's a fight for fair reimbursement, and they're calling on lawmakers to act fast.
WAAY 31's Julia Miller joins us live now from New Market after speaking with a local pharmacy taking part. Julia.
The lights are off, the doors are locked, and the pharmacists here at Chase Pharmacy are nowhere to be seen, a business that would otherwise still be open right now. Before they walked out today, they left a sign on the front door and handed customers this piece of paper, letting them know why they're closed and what people can do to help. Chase pharmacist Robert Gaffin says the goal today is to get lawmakers' attention and to push back against pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs, the middlemen between pharmacies and insurance companies. PBMs set reimbursement rates for medications, and Gaffin says those rates are too low, forcing many independent pharmacies to operate at a loss. The proposed bill, SB 93, would prohibit PBMs from paying pharmacies less than what the medication cost and block them from adding extra fees.
People don't really understand is they do not reimburse us for the costs that we pay for the drugs, and they undercut. So we are fighting against that practice, and as independent pharmacists, we're willing to die on that hill for our patients because we love our patients so much.
Gaffin says losing business for half a day is worth it if it means change in the long run. Coming up on WAAY 31 News at 5, we'll hear from the group opposing this bill. Reporting live in New Market with coverage you can count on, Julia Miller, WAAY 31 News.
All right, thanks so much, Julia. Now, if you're looking for work, here's an option for you. Wellstone is looking to fill several roles. The mental health facility is holding a career fair, and it's Thursday from 9 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. It will be in the community room on the main campus. Organizers say make sure you're dressed nice and, of course, bring your resume. You can get an offer on the spot if you pass a background check. And you are, in just a few moments, about to take a live look at Muscle Shoals from our WAAY 31 Thompson Roofing and Construction Sky Camera Network, where warm and sunny temperatures are happening right now this afternoon.
We need to go over right now to WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle. Jeff, I hope we can expect more of the same weather all week.
Well, we can expect it at least through tomorrow. There's going to be a little change coming in Thursday, but a fairly minor one. I'll have the details on that coming up in just a few minutes. Otherwise, right now, it is fantastic outside. 74 in the Shoals. We've got 76 in Moulton. It's 73 in Huntsville, 72 in Fayetteville. Scottsboro, 71, 72 degrees right now in Fort Payne. Temperatures tomorrow, slightly above these readings. So we're going to continue on this warming streak on into your Wednesday, and I'll break down the details of that on the way in your forecast in just a few minutes. We are quiet out there, mostly sunny skies, so of course there is nothing showing up on 31 Triple Doppler. We take you over into Madison. Checking out Toyota Field. They are getting the field back in order for baseball. If you're aware, they changed it for softball that they've had here in the last couple of weeks there, but now starting to get that transition back in time for the Trash Pandas to begin their season early in April. This is, of course, part of our Thompson Roofing and Construction Skycam network, and they've had great weather out there to do that work today. So we take you into the evening hours. Also great weather for taking the dog for a walk. 69 degrees around 5 o'clock, still in the 60s at 6, and then we'll begin a drop off through the 50s and eventually down into the 40s a little bit later on into tonight. Back in just a few moments. Again, we have a great day tomorrow to tell you about, and some changes for the end of the week, but not big ones. But I'll have details on that as well as the weekend coming up in your WAAY 31 Storm Tracker forecast.
All right, we're looking forward to it, Jeff. Thank you. Another way for you to stay informed is with our WAAY 31 Storm Tracker weather app. It's so easy to use and to access. You just have to scan the QR code that you see right there on your screen. Our app will give you 24/7 live weather updates right at your fingertips, and it's free for all of your devices. Developing now, someone shot a woman and then took off. Right now, Huntsville police are searching for the person who did this last night. It happened on Mariposa Road. Investigators say that woman is expected to be okay. Right now, we're working to learn if there are any suspects. One man is locked up now, and police say he was involved in a hit and run. Investigators say it happened just after midnight at the intersection of University Drive and Mid-City Drive. Francisco Rivera now faces charges for leaving the scene of an accident. Police say more charges may be filed.
Rudy Giuliani A years-long saga with two Georgia election workers following the 2020 presidential election is now over. Lawyers for the election workers told a federal court that Giuliani satisfied the defamation judgment against him. Giuliani reached a settlement to resolve the nearly $150 million judgment last month. He narrowly avoided a second trial and was ready to fight for his Florida condo and New York Yankees World Series rings. And the U.S. will expand a Cuban visa restriction policy. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said it will target, quote, forced labor linked to the Cuban labor export program, end quote. He also said it applies to current or former Cuban government officials, foreign government officials, and their immediate family members. And we want to give you a live look from the White House just right now. The White House says more than 1 million federal employees have responded to Elon Musk's email ultimatum. List 5 things you did last week or you're fired.
The White House says President Trump and Musk are unified. This as confusion grows over whether federal workers should respond. ABC's Perry Russum has more.
President Trump says the emails are to find out if people are working. DOJ is now asking federal judges to explain what they do. The White House says more than 1 million federal workers have responded to Elon Musk's email ultimatum. Reply with what they got done last week or lose their job.
This is to ensure that federal workers are not ripping off American taxpayers, that they are showing up to the office, and that they are doing their job.
President Trump calls the idea genius, but the Pentagon, FBI, and Department of Justice are telling workers not to respond. The Department of Health and Human Services first telling employees to respond, only telling them not to respond 6 hours later, then finally telling them they can respond, but warning employees should assume that what you write will be read by malign foreign actors and tailor your response accordingly. DOJ now asking federal judges what they do. Some federal judges even receiving that email.
The agency heads will determine the best practices for their employees at their specific agencies.
In the face of the email confusion and frustration at congressional Republican town halls,
Elon Musk has contracts with the federal government.
House Republican leadership is standing by DOJ.
We listened to the American people, and they told us they wanted change. And buckle up, because that's exactly what we're giving them.
In Washington, recently fired federal workers staging a sit-in at Senate offices today. Democratic leadership concerned over what they're calling DOJ's random firings.
They have no context for what they're doing. You can't just look at some algorithm and have any idea, well, what does this person actually do at this agency?
Tomorrow is President Trump's first cabinet meeting. Elon Musk will be there as different cabinet secretaries are offering different advice on how to respond to his emails. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Perry, thanks for that report. President Trump is set to meet with a group of House Republicans this afternoon. Officials say he wants to ensure they'll support his agenda when they get ready to vote on the budget. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise says House Republicans will vote on the budget tonight, despite concerns that they won't have the votes to adopt it.
To get our country back on track, deliver on the promises and the mandate that President Trump was given. And the budget does all of those things.
Passage of the budget blueprint is the first step Republicans must take to be able to later pass President Trump's legislative agenda without Democratic support in the Senate. Coming up next, an update on Pope Francis's health. How long officials say it could take him to fully recover.
Plus, tax season colliding with headlines about IRS layoffs. What this could mean for your tax return. Coming up.
And we're still expecting a cold front to roll in here on Thursday. I'll have an update on what sort of impacts it will bring coming up in your Way 31 Storm Tracker forecast.
Coverage you can count on. This is Way 31 News at 4 with Nikel Williams, Tori Dunnan, and Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle.
Will never cold call you to ask for personal information. They'll initiate contact with you if they need something via the U.S. mail or an email. They'll only call you if they already have One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
New at 4, tax season is in full swing and it's collided with headlines about IRS layoffs and cuts.
Absolutely. So what does that mean for your return and your refund? Karen Kafa is in Washington with what taxpayers need to know.
Hi there, Rob and Nikhil. Despite the headlines around the IRS right now, tax experts say that things have been moving pretty smoothly when it comes to federal tax refunds. But if you haven't filed yet, experts say you want to get on that now. File electronically and also have a little patience. Last week, the IRS was expected to start layoffs of more than 6,000 employees as part of the Trump administration's broader cuts to the federal workforce at the agency's busiest time of year.
We know that when the IRS is understaffed, as it was in the 2010s, it makes refunds slower. It means they have a hard time answering their phones if you've got questions.
Vanessa Williamson, a senior fellow in governance studies at the Brookings Institution, says the cuts could impact important taxpayer resources.
There's some evidence that a lot of the cuts are going to come to people who help small business owners who have some of the most complicated taxes of anyone. So if you haven't filed, I recommend you file as soon as possible.
Tom O'Sabin, Director of Tax Content and Government Relations at the National Association of Tax Professionals, says amid leaner IRS staffing, taxpayers should try to limit the need for person-to-person contact with the agency.
What it means is if there's any possibility to electronically file your return, do so. Whether you're using a tax professional or you're filing or you're on your own, or you use the direct file system, which is relatively new at the IRS, try to submit your return electronically.
O'Sabin adds that careful preparation can also minimize omissions and errors that could take longer to correct. And no matter the headlines, he says, to complete that return.
In reading a lot of these social media posts and the like, there's been some talk about waiting to file or don't bother to file. I think that's a fool's recommendation.
And another reason to file sooner rather than later, Congress is coming up against a March 14th deadline to fund the federal government or risk a government shutdown. A potential shutdown could impact some of the activities of the IRS. Robin Nikhil?
Well, Karen, what are some of the most common areas where taxpayers make mistakes that could actually take a long time to correct? And what are some of the red flags tax experts raise?
Yeah, I asked this to Tom O'Sabin of the National Association of Tax Professionals, who you just saw there in the piece. He said one big mistake taxpayers often make has to do with Social Security numbers. They enter an incorrect digit. Or, he says, one thing he's seeing more of is people who have college-age kids or high school kids who have jobs. They don't check the box that they're dependent of their parents, and so you end up doubled up on a Social Security number. So something to communicate within households there. Incorrect numbers on income and elsewhere are another big issue. According to the IRS, O'Sabin says you can resolve this by, again, filing electronically, using some sort of tax preparation software, or consulting with a tax preparation professional. And direct deposit is going to help you get your money quicker if you put the correct routing number and account number on your tax return. So make sure you're doing that. This tax season, time is literally money.
All right, that's good to know. Thanks so much, Karen. And back here in North Alabama, if you haven't already filed your taxes, there's a free tax preparations available. It's available in both Decatur and Athens. The Retired and Senior Volunteer Program will offer the services at the Athens Limestone Library. That is during their normal business hours. And the group will also offer services at the Decatur Public Library. You were asked to schedule for an appointment with that.
Now, Wave 31 Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle with 31 Triple Doppler.
Weather all week. We're hoping it stays that way, at least into the weekend.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have to deal with any rain or any severe weather anytime soon. I know you are watching the potential for some in the coming days.
And I know you see the subliminals too with the sunshine. You're trying to make the sunshine stay around with the yellow.
We're going to try to do that. We're going to do that definitely through tomorrow. Thursday's still the day that we're going to get minor change in the weather. This is not going to be a big deal for us, but our next weather maker arriving Thursday morning. It is going to be a cold front. There will be some showers associated with that. Remains to be seen just how many of those make it through the Tennessee Valley. Right now, we're not expecting a whole lot, and only a slight cool down. As the week has weared on, we've actually grown the numbers, brought them up a little bit from the way it looked a few days ago. So it doesn't look like we're going to be quite as cool as it appeared. But there is going to be a little bit of a drop-off compared to tomorrow versus what we'll have at the end of the week. Pick of the week, your Wednesday, 76. That would tie us for the warmest day of the year so far. We hit that back in early February. 63 on Thursday, 66 Friday. So again, just a very subtle drop off, but that will still keep us above the average of 60 this time of year. We're back into the upper 60s on Saturday. And then there's another cold front. This one will have a little more punch behind it Saturday into Sunday. It won't have any rain. Don't have any of that in the forecast for the weekend. But we are going to see temperatures dropping back into the mid-50s there on Sunday briefly before returning to the 60s again next week. All quiet right now, Wave 31 Triple Doppler. Not expecting anything out there as we take you through your Tuesday evening or tomorrow for that matter. We've got mainly sunny skies at the moment. Some clouds will start to come back in through the day tomorrow, but we'll get a fair amount of sunshine mixed in with those. Here's the noon hour on your Wednesday, partly cloudy skies. And for tomorrow afternoon, we'll say a mix of clouds and sun, probably a little bit more on the sun side than the cloudy side. And again, we'll have those warm temperatures back as well. We headed to your Thursday, mostly cloudy skies coming on in ahead of that cold front. And you do see at 6 in the morning, little line of showers kind of stretch back there towards the Interstate 40 corridor between Nashville and Memphis. Latest of future radar says some of those may survive to make it through the area, but limited. They're going to be light, they're going to be spotty, and they're going to be out of here pretty darn quick. By the time we hit the noon hour on Thursday, already seeing any chance for rain kind of exiting Sand Mountain. And by the end of the day on Thursday, likely clearing back out, and we will get back to sunny skies as we wrap up the week on Friday. Overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, temperatures back right around that 40-degree mark. So again, a little chilly to start, but we'll turn that around very, very quickly through the day with numbers climbing into the low 60s by 10 o'clock in the morning. And by the noon hour, we're already pushing into the 70s, topping out mid-70s for highs, maybe a couple upper 70s. Breeze will be out of the south, southwest, around 10 miles per hour, and that will be a warm wind combined with the sunshine. We'll go 76 for Huntsville, 78 in Decatur, 79 Muscle Shoals, knocking on the door at 80 there, 75 in Scottsboro, and about 77 tomorrow over in Fort Payne. Here's your Wave 31 Storm Tracker 10-day forecast. Again, the numbers dip just slightly Thursday, Friday. Have a colder morning Friday morning at 36, but back into the 60s. Friday afternoon, same on Saturday. Again, we've got that cool down on Sunday, back into the 50s briefly before the 60s make a return beginning of next week. Still watching, I think, middle of next week, late Tuesday night into Wednesday time frame. That'll be another weather maker coming on in. Probably seeing this stuff floating around on social media. This is going to be a severe weather producer. Not a guarantee for us here in North Alabama. We'll be watching. We'll, of course, let you know. But right now, nothing to stress over until we get a little bit closer and get a better idea as to what that's going to bring. We will see a little cool down behind that system. But again, nothing that looks real significant with a few days by the middle and latter part of next week back into the 50s for highs. All in all, forecast not looking too bad as we wrap up February and head into early March. Looks like we got a nice weekend in store.
Come on, spring.
Come on, spring.
We're ready.
There. Yep.
Jeff, thank you.
And Denny's is the latest restaurant impacted by rising egg prices and egg shortages. So, how does this impact your wallet? The details after the break.
Yep, mic check. A new House bill aimed at protecting children online. MY31 reporter Paige Meyer. Thank you. Yes. It is sunny back there. Yeah, it's sunny back there, but my gain is all the way at... Does that look better? This is the lowest. This is at low. This is like 0. Okay. Yes.
New at 4, Home Depot has broken its long losing streak.
That's right, Nikhil. Today, the company said that they've seen sales grow 0.8% in the last quarter, and they saw this growth as stores open at least a year. That ends the 2 years of declining sales. The company also gave an upbeat forecast for 2025. They expect sales would grow by 1% as stores open, again, at least a year. And it could be good news for more than just Home Depot. The company is seen as a key indicator of the U.S. housing market and overall economy. And Denny's will add an egg surcharge at some of its locations. This as egg shortages and higher egg prices continue. The chain declined to specify just how much folks will pay, but Denny's said is going to make price decisions depending on restaurant locations.
This weekend, you can get as many pancakes as you can eat. Christian Fellowship Baptist Church is holding a community pancake breakfast. It's Saturday morning, 8 to 10. Everyone is welcome to attend. And those in need in Madison can get free groceries this weekend. One Generation Away is bringing its mobile pantry to Madison Crossroad Community Center. It'll be this Saturday. Distribution begins at 9 in the morning until all the food runs out. Registration isn't required. New next, the cost to attend prom can be expensive. What one local radio host is doing to help out.
And a new House bill aimed at protecting children online. MY31 reporter Paige Meyer live with the details coming up after the break.
Great afternoon here across the area. Everyone making it into the 70s. We're going to do it again tomorrow. I'll have an update in your forecast after the break.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching Way 31 News at 4:30.
Thanks for staying with us for Way 31 News at 4:30. I'm Rob Sneed.
And I'm Mikkel Williams. Tori is off today. It is such a gorgeous day across North Alabama.
It is. Ooh.
Can't get any better.
It cannot get any better
Right
than
now.
this. Way 31 Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle. He joins us live in the Weather Center. And Jeff, what can we expect for the rest of the week?
Well, at least tomorrow, more of the same. And it can't get any better. Well, I think we're going to one up your Tuesday, coming up for your Wednesday, because these temperatures are just going to be a hair higher than what we've got this afternoon. Very comfortable. It feels great outside. Nice to see the sunshine and that little taste of spring in the air. 74 in the Shoals. We've got 76 for the warm spot in Moulton right now. Gadsden 74, Guntersville 72. And in and around the greater Huntsville area right now sitting at 73 degrees. If you've not gotten an opportunity to step outside and enjoy it yet, we are going to stay quite comfortable here for at least the next few hours. All quiet on Way 31 Triple Doppler. We've got really nothing but sunshine out there. Beautiful shot over the lake in Guntersville, part of our Thompson Roofing and Construction Skycam network. Here's your forecast into the evening hours. We stay in the 60s through 7. Then we'll begin to drop off through the 50s between 8 and 10 o'clock tonight. By 11, falling into the 40s. And once again tomorrow morning, as you step out, you'll need to throw on a light jacket, at least early in the day. Not something you'll need, though, through the afternoon. I'll be back in just a few moments. Again, we'll update the warmth, latest on your weekend as well, coming up in your forecast.
Alrighty, thanks so much, Jeff. No matter where you are, make sure you're always prepared. All you have to do is download our Way 31 Storm Tracker weather app. It's as simple as just scanning that QR code right there on your screen. You see it. Our app will give you the most accurate forecast for your area. Of course, it's free to download on all Apple and Android devices.
Over in Tuscumbia, the city's park is temporarily closed. An EF1 tornado ripped through the city and shut it down. That happened on February 15th. Right now, crews are working on removing debris and getting quotes on repairs for the merry-go-round. They're asking for residents to be patient as they fix the park back up.
And a mother and stepfather are now back in North Alabama after they were arrested in Wyoming. Leanna and Zachary Varco were extradited back to the Morgan County. This after deputies say they took Leanna's children from a family member's house and then just ran off. The kids were found safe at a local hotel, and the couple is now charged with child abuse and interfering with custody. And a Madison County businessman now faces prison time. Authorities say a judge sentenced 71-year-old Ray Hunt to 5 years in prison. He violated the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Hunt admitted he conspired to export U.S. origin goods to Iran against trade sanctions last year. And new at 4:30, kids' access to social media could be coming to a quick close if legislators get their way.
Alabama House Bill 317 would require app stores to verify ages and get parental consent before any minor can download their apps. Way 31 reporter Paige Meyer spoke with Meta's youth safety team about their reaction to the plan.
Officials at Meta, who most of you may know as Facebook, say this House bill would offer parents both more privacy and efficiency when it comes to monitoring their children's social media usage as well as smartphone usage. Now, on top of age verification, the bill would require parent accounts to affiliate with minor accounts. Now, if something restricted tries to be downloaded, consent would then have to be granted by the parent account. Meta says this legislation will allow parents to monitor what their children are downloading.
There are bills across the United States that require app by app age verification and parental consent. And so what we really want is a solution that's easier for parents, something that's really simple and more privacy protective.
House Bill 317 would serve as a one-stop shop to collect privacy data instead of going app by app. Now, the next hearing for House Bill 317 will be this Wednesday, tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Now, coming up on Way 31 News at 6, you'll hear from parents in the community about how they feel about this new bill. Reporting live in Huntsville with coverage you can count on. Paige Meyer, Way 31 News.
All right, Paige, thank you. Earlier this month, we spoke to Alabama Senator Katie Britt about a bill that she's pushing to get kids under 13 off social media. Senator Britt proposed that bill earlier this year. It would require age verification for all accounts. That bill would also require social media companies to not use targeted algorithms on people under 17.
if we're looking at the facts and that rise and that increase in mental health challenges that are occurring, and we know that there is a link to social media, we must do better and be better for our children.
The bill has since moved to the Senate floor for consideration. Right now, we're working to learn when they'll vote on it.
Elon Musk